All right, guys, here we go. The map is Cloud Kingdom, and down in the bottom left part of it in the green, from the team NSHoSeo, we have Sculp, or Plux backward, if you care to do that sort of thing. And in the upper right part of the map, in the red, from the team SlayerS, we have Puzzle winning first 2 games in this match. And, man, he's been playing really, really well. We'll have to see how his Protoss versus Terran is on this map. And you mentioned before the cast that it's kind of an interesting map choice for Sculp. And you're right, this is traditionally a map that Protoss players actually like quite a bit. But I feel like Terran players, if they play in a way that we see, well, for instance, Liquid Tasia play TVP, if they kind of sit back, play more passive, just really, really power out lots of bio units, this map can be pretty good for coming at your opponent from multiple angles in TVP.
This map seems to reward extremes. It's either like you play that really passive or you're hyper aggressive, you know?
That's a good point.
If you decide to play that like 10-minute bio push, you tend to get crushed by Protoss players pretty easily. Yeah,
it's not a very good map for just standard, and I guess when I say standard play, I mean slightly outdated play now, you know, where you see that you know, very normal push that a lot of Protoss players are used to. No gas just yet for either player here, so obviously no gas first from Sculp. That's a bit rare in Terran versus Protoss, but I've got a feeling we're probably going to see a 1-Rax expand from him, based on his previous play here.
Yeah, and it looks like it's going to be of the gasless variety. So 1-Rax gasless fast expand. We'll see what he decides to move into here in just a bit. Reapers are still pretty cool on this map, but we've seen Reaper expands using TVP to varying degrees of success. It was really popular a few months ago, and then IPL4 kind of happened, and Squirtle kind of, well, put an end to a lot of those Reaper expands with really aggressive Protoss play, and we haven't seen a lot of them since.
Yep, that's right. I mean, if you go Reaper expand and your opponent just goes 2-base Colossus, a lot of times you're not going to really have the units to defend it if you just go straight up very normal play from that point on. So we've had to see players like Sculp, like any other Terran player out there, kind of vary things up a little bit. And it's interesting to kind of see the responses. We've seen some players go back to kind of the 1-1-1 style, you know, Marine Tank Banshee. We saw Nada for a while playing around with a style that I really wish would have been polished and developed a little bit more by other players, which is the Marine Tank Banshee Expand style, where you just kind of play with that unit composition in a longer game. Hopefully we see someone kind of take up that torch now that Nada's retired. But, you know, we've also seen Tasia, like for instance yesterday, just going for a very, very fast 3rd command center. And then from there, going for a huge amount of Marine Marauder medevac and just trying to overpower his opponent with sheer numbers.
Well, we'll see what Sculp is going to do here in just a bit. Is he going to opt for like 2 or 3 more barracks and then double gas afterwards? And it looks like he's starting to send those SCVs over now. Looks like just a bunker at the front. So barracks number 2 and 3 would hit here momentarily if he's deciding to go down that route. But he probably would have double gassed by now if he was planning to head down a different path, that Nada style that you were talking about before.
Oh yeah, definitely not going to see that this time around. He actually started, okay, there's the engineering bay at the natural expansion. And if you skip a Zealot as a Protoss player, which did he, or did he just send it to the front? He actually sent it all the way to the front. So basically it's just going to make it very, very difficult for Puzzle to expand at normal timing. Sculp trying to micro those Marines. Look at that, almost keeping one alive. It's StarCraft Master all over again, and he does manage to get it.
Not bad.
With only losing 1 Marine. Yeah, it could go okay. You can do it with 3 Marines and not lose any, but he was close. He was close enough.
And 2 more barracks with double gas coming up for Sculp. So this is as normal as Terran play can get. I mean, going 3 barracks into double gas, and then he has a lot of options ahead of him. He can either prioritize add-ons, he can decide to go after, and upgrades, I guess, along with that. He can decide to go very quickly up to medevac, somewhat select style. A lot of options at his disposal.
Yeah, Select, definitely a Terran versus Protoss player that is well deserving of that reputation. Has some of the best drop play in the game out there. Hopefully we'll get to see some games of him in the future, but it definitely is a style that a lot of players have tried to use on Cloud Kingdom in the past, just because of the big areas to drop in, things like that.
I could be wrong, but I think it actually is Dignitas versus EG in losers round 3. So
that'd be good.
Be interesting to see those 2 teams go up against each other. Looks like Puzzle though has to get the Stalker out of there. Does a little bit of damage to these Marines, and Sculp doing a nice job not losing any. Effect has 4 hurt Marines inside of there, but hasn't lost any for the time being.
Yep. Nobody taking a really quick 3rd this game, which is kind of interesting. Kind of taking quick 3rds has been sort of the trend lately in Protoss versus Terran on both sides. But both of these players saying, all right, I'm going to not be too greedy, because I know you're not being greedy as well. I'm just going to go ahead and play a very standard kind of old school-ish type of game and see where that gets me. It looks like Puzzle, though, wants to be the aggressor with that pylon a little bit down towards his opponent's base.
That's right. Sculp does not pick up on it. And as we can see on Puzzle side of things, he is just sitting on 2 gas for now. That Robo should hit here pretty soon, unless he's planning to make some sort of 3-gate pressure attack or something like that. And in fact, he is. There's 3 Zealots warping in up at the front, so a little bit weird out of him. And he's even putting down that Twilight Council back at home, so he wants to try and do some pressure and do it now.
Yeah, 1-gate expands into 3-gate pressure have been really, really popular in PvT lately, and will he be able to do damage? Oh, trying to force field in some units. Doesn't quite get them. Oh, those force fields not really end up working too well. He catches 1 Marauder, but that is about it.
He uses almost all the energy on his sentries as well, so this bunker is actually going to be repaired quite a bit over and over again. So Sculp actually finishing the 2nd bunker, so he's going to be able to get some units inside of it. That does help with increased range as well, so they're able to hit Stalkers just the same as the Stalkers can hit the bunker. So
yeah, if the bunker didn't give you that +1 range, then Stalkers would be able to hit the bunker from outside of the range. The bunker could hit them, so definitely good that the bunker gives you that little bonus. Although in Brood War, Dragoons could hit bunkers potentially without getting hit in return, so it's not like that type of thing hasn't existed in a StarCraft game in the past.
But Sculp is holding up at the front, still has a lot of SCVs pulled off the line, though. So even though Puzzle isn't doing a lot of damage with this, just by having those units there and just showing them over and over again, he's forcing Sculp to overreact just a little bit. And Puzzle's going to need that because he delayed his tech quite a bit to get this done. He himself, though, is going for 2-base Storm.
Yeah, and that can be very devastating if your opponent doesn't know it's coming. Obviously, you're not going to have EMP because a lot of Terran players don't have Ghosts this early in the game. So this is a great decision by Puzzle. If he can catch his opponent in a spot where he can't really run very well from the Psionic Storms, he's got a really, really good chance of just straight up killing his opponent. We've seen it happen before.
It has happened before, especially with good force field control, although Puzzle, unfortunately, hasn't had that quite in this game. So missile turret up at the front, which is a nice move. Sculp knows that if he's feigning pressure up at the front, he is in the process of teching. One of those tech routes he could go down is Dark Templar, so always good to be very, very safe in that regard. Puzzle, though, does have a fair number of High Templar back at home, with Storm just about to finish up, so he'll have a pretty stout anti-drop defense. And looks like, unfortunately, some of these Stalkers getting chased down, sacrificing 1 for the cause there.
Yep, that's right, and the other one's getting chased as well. I mean, keep in mind, though, every time Sculp chases one, he has to stim, so he doesn't want to go overboard with that at all. Supply lead right now going just ever so slightly to Sculp, not really even much to speak of in that regard. And look at that, we do have +1 armor on the way, too. So Puzzle could use this to get that Zealot charge upgrade, and then once he has that, go for Charge Lot Archon as well as some other gateway units. It can be a very effective composition versus this Marine Marauder Medevac Terran style.
And we mentioned at the beginning of the game that that kind of 10-11 minutes medevac normal bio push doesn't work so well on this map, but this is kind of a special circumstance because of the fact, and it looks like he's going to catch some Stalkers off guard. No, forces him to blink back. Very well done by Puzzle. This is one of those scenarios, though, where Puzzle, you know, he's had his tech really, really delayed. He doesn't have Robo down at all because he tried to put on some pressure at the beginning of the game. Not that 2-base Storm is bad, but, you know, it'd certainly be nice to have the flexibility to go into Colossi, especially on this map where you've got so many units off in those pretty narrow choke points. So, so Sculp actually could make this work just by virtue of, you know, kind of what's already happened in this game from Puzzle.
Yeah, exactly. He's also adding his Ghost Academy on now. I think he did kind of get an idea that it is going to be Templar tech because he hasn't seen any Observers, he hasn't seen any Marauders with the army, or Immortals rather with the army. Certainly won't see Marauders with the army. That would be just silly.
Be horrible.
Exactly.
I mean, the Replicant's cool, but
yeah, Replicant's out of the game, man. It's not coming back. I'm glad actually that they took that out. I wasn't a big fan of that unit concept.
And wow, Sculp is just going to go for it. He actually stims all of his units up, running around the top left-hand corner. Puzzle, though, I don't know if he's going to be able to react to this. Is he going to make his way back or what? Unfortunately, this whole base is gone. Even if he warps in a couple of units, it's not going to be enough.
Yep, and he's going to have some pretty good storms. Oh, the Templar getting caught without storming. Oh, that's rough, and this third base is in trouble, but it looks like we do have a counterattack from Protoss down at the bottom of the map as well, so we may end up seeing a bit of a crazy base trade situation here in Game 3.
But Sculp is so well prepared. He's got 5 bunkers. 5 of them. He knew exactly what could happen if he decided to go for this. So even if this attack does get repelled, let's actually take a look at the Templar. They do have enough for a storm, so Sculp is going to have to be careful. He could. There it is. Doom drop into the main, and there are no Templar to feedback right away.
Yep, that's right. And his unit's nice and spread out because of the way he dropped that as well.
Oh,
so it's going to marginalize the effectiveness of Storm. Puzzle trying to find some good storms, but it's tough, man. I mean, those units are sprayed so well. He's only going to hit like 3 or 4 each time. Yeah,
does this guy not remind you of Jockji, though, honestly? I know they're on the same team. It's easy to make that comparison, but bio control dropping all over the place. This has just been looking pretty darn good from Sculp. Pulls all of those units back there. He has his 3rd base finished up. Now, yes, he did just lose his standing army, but he repels everything back at home. He still has quite a bit. He's sitting on +1 weapons with +1 armor just about to finish up, so he's maintaining an upgrade advantage as well. And of course, RoboBay Tech is only now hitting for SlayerS Puzzle.
Yep, that's true. Now on the Sculp side of things, he is moving out right now with that medevac push. He's got +2 weapons on the way as well as Mobius reactors, so his Ghost will have a little bit more energy. Kind of forced to make some Ghosts before he wanted to, though. Normally you want to time that with the Ghost upgrade. Oop, a couple donated Zealots there as well. Yeah. And he does have that slight supply lead, too. I'm curious right now, how many barracks actually does Sculp have?
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, really? 5, that's it. Okay, he'll need a couple more here in a second. Yep. At least 8, something like that on 3 base.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, 5 is a little bit low. It depends. I mean, if you're going for Ghosts and Ghost upgrades along with everything else, I suppose you could go for a little bit less of a huge heavy barracks play, because you're not going to be, you know, massing just huge amounts of units like we saw Teja do against Creator yesterday. You're going to be going for a more balanced composition, which also means a little bit more of a smaller composition too. So it's probably okay, but yeah, he is a little bit low on the unit count, as we can see right now.
Yeah, Sculp's a little bit pulled apart here. He's got to watch out. He's got a huge amount of units off to the right-hand side, about ready to drop in. There are a couple of Templar, but they're a bit out of position at the moment, but they will have enough for storms whenever these units do eventually land. So Sculp going to be able to pick off a couple of forces here.
Oh, nice
but he
storms.
takes a huge storm. A few workers did actually go down there, but Puzzle handling that pretty darn well.
Yeah, the Zealots are going to be able to take care of those Marauders someday, but not now, because the Marauders are getting healed so much. The Archon has to step in and help out a little bit, it looks like.
That's right. So everything going down there. This will eventually get repelled. And his Giro. Oh, wow, that medevac getting really, really low. Just 13 hit points there. So much so that it made me stop enunciating my words.
That's the sound I make that sound pretty often when I cast, so don't worry about it, man. Colossi on the way now from SlayerS Puzzle. He's going to switch things up, go for that robotics play. And a lot of great Protoss players such as Puzzle are known for that ability to change tech in that late game, change it safely as well. Oh, great EMP! Only 1 storm left out of all those Templar, and they're not even going to get to be an Archon. Oh, what?
What's up?
What just happened there?
They destroyed the Archon before it was able to morph in.
I guess I didn't even see it get shot.
Yeah. Just dead
fast, man.
Immediately. Yeah, it was.
Oh, gets another sentry or 2.
Yes, he does.
As well. Puzzle, I mean, it's not like he's been playing a really, really bad game or anything like that, but it just seems like every couple minutes he just gets caught in this kind of awkward situation. He loses something he really can't afford to lose, and all these little things for Puzzle are starting to chip away at him and give Sculp a nice big lead in this game.
Now, the one thing Puzzle's really got going for him, though, is that he's going to be on Colossi Tech here in a second. Not a single Viking on the field, so the anti-air is not really there. Excuse me, for Sculp, and he's going to have to rely on Immaculate Ghost and Marauder control to be able to take those Colossi down.
Yep, that's right. And what else do we have going on the map right now? Kind of just trying to take stock of what Sculp has got. I've been really closely paying attention to the amount of barracks that Terran players have been making lately, because I think in general they're not making enough, honestly. I think there's very few Terran players out there right now that genuinely make as many as they can. It kind of depends, again, on the style, if you go for Ghost a little bit earlier or not. But we saw players like Teja, Polt, MMA does this a lot too, just makes huge, huge amounts of barracks. And when you get into these big fights, at about around this time in the game is usually when it happens, those players will actually just use up their whole army. They'll keep the medevacs alive. They'll fly those away before they die, but they'll actually donate their army. Because there's not a lot of Ghosts in it, so it's not terribly expensive, and they've got so much production at home that they're able to actually stay up to date with their opponent supply-wise, and even sometimes end a battle where they've lost their army and be ahead in supply. So I really like that style of TVP. Sculp isn't quite doing that this time around. He's going for more heavy Ghost play, so he can't really afford to donate armies like that, but It's been something I've been kind of watching in the TVP metagame lately.
We do have another command center coming up for Sculp, so we will eventually be able to move over to another base. Nice job EMPing out and picking off a couple of those Templar before anything happens. Gets another one as well. Storm actually whiffs big time, and Sculp is able to take out a lot of high-value casters there without losing that much in return.
You ask that Archon if Storm whiffed that last time and see what he says, because I think he felt it.
I'm an all-energy being, and this is affecting me. I don't get this.
I know this is not the right kind of energy. He's allergic to that kind of energy, I guess.
Oh, it sucks to be an Archon, apparently.
But he's psionic.
Yeah, no
I
kidding.
don't know.
Oh, that's not a good engagement for those Zealots. They were all just kind of filtering down single file, and the range units were picking them off pretty quickly. The Vikings are starting to be added on. The one saving grace for Puzzle at this moment, though, is that he has been able to retain his entire Colossus count. He's going up to a 4th here in a second, but now, as the Viking count grows, as the upgrades go up for Sculp, as he does have +3 on the way, +3 weapons, I should say, it's going to be a little bit harder to keep those safe.
Well, yeah, I mean, now Puzzle's been having to kind of bounce back and forth between his two bases. He did have those ramps in the past to keep his opponent at bay, but now he's attacking on the low ground against his opponent. And will it work?
Pretty good feedbacks there, actually picking off a couple of ghosts, so well done there. Tries to flank to the side with a couple of units. He had some gateway units with it, so it wasn't a completely exposed Colossus, but they just got picked off so quickly and wasn't able to re-engage with the rest of his main force that Colossus was just kind of sequestered off from the rest of everything else.
Sculp going for it, running up into the natural expansion area. Now he has a high ground, and he could do kind of what I was saying. He could get in there, kill very important buildings, and then just get his medevacs away, not care about the bio units at all. We'll have to see what he does, but man, he's got so much. He's actually just killing nearly the entire army along with this.
Yeah, basically the Colossi are reduced to shambles. In fact, all of them are now dead, and I think he's just going to win the game with this.
Well, it certainly looks that way. The Archon's not posing much of a threat. Zealots and probes attacking right now. The Bioforce is quite a bit smaller, but again, like I said, as long as he keeps the medevacs alive, he can afford to get rid of these Marines and Marauders, and it looks like it's not even enough for a Puzzle. No, he can't take this army. This is it.
He's down to just 80 supply, and it was a lot lower than that, but he brings in a big warp, and he's lost now 45 workers, continuing to fall. This will eventually drive this away. No, actually, it looks like reinforcements are going to catch up for Sculp, and he is going to be able to hold this off once again.
Yeah, supply looking pretty good for our Terran player. GG.
NSHoSeo is taking their first game of the set, so there we have it.
Yeah, this is going to end up being a little bit of a closer set than maybe some people thought originally. I mean, I kind